And good morning, I'm Tracy Sinclair, and we are just getting ready to watch as Alaska's electors make their votes for President of the United States. This is happening in downtown Anchorage. Now, this is, of course, part of the Alaska Electoral College. They are just getting set up. It seems to be a fairly quick process, which is why we're making sure that we don't miss it. We are on ready to go for this ceremony. And this happens mid-December. It does seem like a long way from the election, but this is how it is set up, and this is how it is determined. In Alaska, state law determines how the names of the electors are chosen, and it's basically done by political party. So each political party selects their electors. It equals, of course, the number of our electoral votes, which is calculated by how many members we have in Congress, the 2 senators, and of course, our 1 congressperson. And so that's how we end up with 3 electoral votes here in Alaska. And in Alaska, each elector pledges that as an elector, that person will cast his or her electoral vote for the candidate of the party. So you can see we're just getting ready for this to start in downtown Anchorage, and we will continue to monitor and go live or bring up the sound a little bit more when they get ready to go. I understand it's a fairly fast process, so we want to be ready for when they do this. Basically, when voters, according to the Division of Elections, when voters are going to the polls on Election Day, they are voting for electors in the Electoral College. We know that the vote that's marked for president and vice president on the ballot is considered as a vote for the electors of that party, and then whichever presidential candidate wins the popular vote in the state wins those pledged votes. As we said, each elector must pledge that they will cast his or her electoral vote for the candidate of the party. So the Republican Party has picked their 3 candidates. We understand. There we go. I'm going to go live.
It is my privilege to welcome all of you to this significant event. Today we gather to honor the pivotal role the Electoral College plays in shaping the future of our nation. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the delegates and the officials present who are the backbone of our electoral process in ensuring that the voice of every citizen is heard and represented. I would also like to thank the thousands of Alaskans and the dedicated election staff who labor ceaselessly to make sure that elections happen across our great state. We will begin this morning with the presentation of colors by the Chugiak High School Navy Junior ROTC, followed by the national anthem sung by the Great Land Chorus, directed by Jessica Swan. Please rise. Please. Oops.
Cat reading. Colored. Ready. Cut. Present. Colored.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now sing the national anthem.
As twilight has
right, face, forward, march, trail, color.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Great Land Chorus, for the beautiful renditions of the National Anthem and the Alaska Flag Song. And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our Lieutenant Governor, Nancy Dahlstrom, with remarks about the history and this auspicious event.
Thank you, and boy, that music was great. Thanks to all the students that came and made this a really memorable day also. And you know, I want to begin by first of all giving a huge thank you to Carol Beecher, who you've been just heard briefly from. Carol and her entire team have worked hours and hours and hours. They worked 12 and 14-hour days since way before the election even started to make sure that things were done properly, that they were done timely, and I'm so grateful for their effort. It's a labor of love, and they have a true love and belief in our country and in our system and want things done correctly. So let's have a hand for Carol. So I appreciate everybody being here today. And, you know, conducting an election in Alaska, given our diverse population, given where we're at, our vast geographic areas, and the transportation challenges that we have, is a tremendous feat to be able to pull that off. But Carol and her team did, and I'm grateful. I'd like to personally thank all the Alaskans who were involved in voting, poll workers, and different things that poll watching, different things that were done to make sure things are correct. Again, that's a labor of love also. And I would like to thank and welcome our electors here today. We have Eileen Becker from Homer. Eileen, if you would stand. There's Eileen. We have Ron Johnson from the Matsu. And Rick Whitbeck from Anchorage. Also with us is our alternate elector, Gloria Shriver. Gloria, if you would stand, from Anchorage. Thank you all for being here. All were duly appointed by the Republican Party of Alaska, and they have all given a tremendous amount of service to Alaskans in the past, and I am confident will continue to do so in the future. So, you know, as we're here today, it's fitting to reflect on the significance of the institution that we're about to represent. The Electoral College is a cornerstone of our nature's democratic process, and it's enshrined in the Constitution because of its importance and shaped by the vision of our founding fathers. It embodies their careful balancing of principles of federalism, representation, and the unity of our very diverse states. The history is as old as the Republic. It was established in 1787 during the Constitutional Convention, and it was the product of much robust discussion and compromise. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall or even have been there when that was happening. The framers sought to create a system that would ensure both the will of the people and the sovereignty of the states needing to be preserved. Each state's voice, regardless of its size or population, needed to have a meaningful role and say in selecting the President of the United States. And we, being a very large state but a lower population, have 3 electoral votes, much smaller number than some other states, but they are just as important. This unique system has endured for more than 2 centuries. It's adapted over time while remaining a testament to the strength and the resilience of our democratic institutions. So again, we're young compared to many of the other states, but we play a vital role in the process, and we have ever since we achieved statehood in 1959. Our 3 electoral votes are modest, but they symbolize the votes and the aspiration and the voice of all Alaskans, from the biggest communities to the smallest villages and most remote places that we have. in Alaska. These votes remind us that every state, every individual has a stake in the direction of our nation. So today we will cast the votes for president and vice president. And as we do so, we are fulfilling a solemn duty. We do so with the awareness that our actions are part of a larger tapestry that's been woven together with the contribution from all 50 states. This event is happening in all 50 states today. It's not merely a procedural activity or exercise. It's a reaffirmation of our democratic values and the things that we stand for. This is what unites us. Over the past months, millions of Americans have made their voices heard in the ballot box, and that participation in cities and towns, whether it was snowing or sunny, whatever the weather was, is a testament to the enduring strength of our democracy. So the Electoral College is not just about choosing leaders, it's about upholding a system that values both unity and diversity, both the individual and the collective. In closing, I want to thank each one of you for your dedication to this process, to the principles of our democracy. May we continue to honor the trust that's been placed in us by the people of the United States of America and especially the people of the state of Alaska. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our director, Carol Beecher, to continue with the ceremony. And again, I thank you all for being here. And I'm so grateful that we have the honor of being here on this historic day. Thank you.
Thank you. And if now we could have our electors come take your seats, and we will have, my staff will be handing you the certificates for signing. As soon as these certificates are signed and we leave this room, we will be FedExing the certificates, which have to be to Washington, D.C., to the Senate President by December 25th. And then they do the Electoral College vote in the Senate. I believe it's January 6th. Thank you all. That is the end of our Electoral College event, and we appreciate all of you coming and for participating in the process, and have a great afternoon. Thank you.
And there you have it. Alaska's 3 electors have cast their ballot for president as required by the state constitution. And those, as she said, will be sent to the Senate by the 25th. So thank you so much for joining us. We will have more, of course, on this story and the whole process that has gone through on tonight on our news at 4, 5, 6, and 10. And of course, you'll find the latest on alaskasnewssource.com.